and welcome to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Luray-Page Day, so we are back on the Zooms with Gina Hilliard. She is president at the Luray-Page Chamber of Commerce. Gina, we're trying to suffer through this heat wave that we seem to be having, but somebody told me the other day that it's never as hot in Luray as it is everywhere else in the Shenandoah Valley because y'all have some secret to keeping it cooler there. I'm guessing it's maybe the trees.
Here in my office, I would love to know what that secret is because our AC has been down. So I would love to know. The only secret that I know is the cooling system because of Luray Cavern stays the same temperature year round. Maybe because we are in such the valley surrounded by all the mountains, it is cooler, but I don't know. It doesn't feel that in my office.
You're going to have to reach out to our guest today to see if he could just drive you around in his air-conditioned vehicle just to cool off from the AC being broken in the office.
Yes, I even walked out of the office yesterday, just opened up the door, and it felt cooler, a little cooler outside than it did inside. So, yeah, we all have our fans on blowing, but all it's doing is circulating hot air. So I don't know why they're on.
So our guest today is Chris Snow. He is with Valley and Vine Transport. And Chris, I'm really excited and interested to know about this business of yours because my first assumption is that you drive people around to wineries because I am all in for that.
Yes, so Valley and Vine. We're a private, curated tour and transport service based around the Shenandoah Valley's craft beverage scene. So we help guests build a relaxed wine, brewery, distillery, or mixed craft beverage day with itinerary planning, the routing, door-to-door pickup, safe transportation.
So I don't even have to put the day together then. I can just call you and say, hey, I've got 4 or 5 friends and we want to check out several wineries in this area and you can take care of that.
Absolutely. We have a short form on our website that guests will submit how large of a group you have, what kind of day you're looking for, if you want just wineries, if you want to see local attractions like art galleries, things like that. Just complete the form and we'll plan it. So we'll check out events going on at the venues. We know what is going on at all the places. So we relieve the planning stress involved with that. A lot of tourists will come in. They're really excited. They see all the things to do around here, but it takes a lot of research, a lot of planning, which venues are open, which ones have a food truck. That's what we do. We allow them to have a stress-free day. They should be enjoying the valley, not doing their homework.
Having to Google everything and double check this and double check that.
Exactly.
But that means you're not just a transport company. You're kind of a tourism company in and of itself because that means you got to know what all of those things are and who's open and what's happening and all of those kinds of things.
We spend a lot of time working with the different venues, our lodging partners, to be able to stay up to date on what's happening in the area and be able to show guests the best experience that they can have in that.
How many can you seat, if that's the right phrase to use, at a time? Do you have multiple vehicles? Give me an overview of the business in general.
We have one van that we're using, and it is a 10-passenger, not counting me driving. Our group sizes have typically been 4 to 5. Those are mostly like friends groups that were friends when they were younger, and they all live different places around the country, and they chose the Shenandoah Valley as a place to get together, have a good time. So they were already planning a whole excursion here. They have said that the biggest asset that we have brought is they can fill out a form, we take care of the rest.
It's such a benefit because they don't have to figure out where these places are located. They don't have to worry about who's going to drive and will everybody fit in a car. And then are they going to be able to find the places that they want to go to? Because there are places in the Shenandoah Valley that are somewhat hidden if you don't know that they're there or how to get to them. And then the bonus is if they're doing any kind of beer or wine or going to a distillery, they don't have to worry about driving if they've had a couple of drinks. So this whole concept checks a lot of boxes.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited to be able to provide this.
How did you come up with the idea? Was it something you've been toying with for a while, or were you a victim of not ever having anybody drive you somewhere and thought, I'm just going to create this business myself?
So I've looked at the tourism industry as a whole and in this area, see visitors spending all their time trying to figure out what to do. And then they'll get to a place and, oh yeah, we don't take parties of 6 or more without reservations. Well, Valley and Vine, we know that. So that place wouldn't be one of the stops that you're making.
How long have you been open?
We just opened this year.
Gina, from a tourism perspective, this really is invaluable because you get people that rent these cabins and then they don't necessarily want to have to do all the work of figuring out where to go, how to get there, and what all the details are. So being able to recommend Valley and Vine Transport's got to be a huge benefit for you at the Chamber from a tourism perspective.
It's huge, not only for our staff to be able to recommend for our visitors, but even the vineyards and wineries and breweries themselves. Because them going just to one that they maybe came across and tried instead of driving to the other one, they're recommending one another. And so this is a service then that can take them from one to the other, which is exactly what his plan is. But it's them partnering together. They're all working together. They don't look at each other as competition. They're working together to say, okay, this route's going to give you these options and this route's going to give you these. And this is suited for this group or that group or whatever. But they're all still staying in Page County. They're benefiting from all the wonderful businesses that are here. And so it's a tremendous, easy thing because then everybody, when they come in, they're like, oh, I want to go to that one. I want to go to that one. And then you look around, who's going to be the DD? Who's going to be the responsible one that doesn't want to drink? And so this is their solution to where they don't have to sit there and figure out which ones they're going to, which ones take reservations, and then worry about they can all enjoy the wine, the breweries, anything that we have here in the county, the spirits.
Chris, do you have designed itineraries that they can just say, oh, I want this package or that package? Do you do custom ones? How does that work?
Each one is custom because every group is different, whether it is how many are in the group, whether or not they like red wines or sweet whites, if they like cocktails, or what kind of food preferences they have for the trip. It's not okay, they fit that box, I'll send them this itinerary. Each one is custom.
And it doesn't, I guess, have to necessarily even be wineries or breweries or distilleries. I could see where somebody might pick Page County as the central location to host a family reunion, and they rent a bunch of these cabins, and then they need somebody to run them 2 different activities. They want to go spend a couple of hours at Luray Caverns, and then they want to go downtown for a little bit, but they don't want to have to worry about carrying packages and figuring out who's going to meet who where. You check that box as well.
Absolutely. So there are other venues that we've partnered with, art galleries, Luray Caverns, so places that aren't alcohol related. That is something that we do.
Let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about what the process looks like. How do I reach out to you? Are there any restrictions on anything? Let's get in the weeds on some of the logistics. Can we do that in the next segment?
That would be perfect.
We are on the Zooms for Luray-Page Day. Gina Hilliard, president of the Luray-Page Chamber of Commerce, is joining me. Her guest today is Chris Snow. He is the owner of Valley and Vine Transport. We're going to talk more with both of them when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Luray-Page Day on the Zoom, so we are chatting today with Gina Hilliard. She is president of the Luray-Page Chamber of Commerce. Her guest today is Chris Snow. Chris is the owner of Valley and Vine Transport, and we talked a little bit during the break and then also in the first segment, Chris, about just how easy it is and what a benefit it is to have a company like yours for people who are either visiting the area or people who live here and just don't want to have to deal with driving to different places. So let's say I have 3 or 4 girlfriends and we just want to go spend an afternoon together. We haven't seen each other in a while and we all want to go to a couple of wineries, but we don't really know which ones are where, any of the logistics. So I reach out to you and say, hey, Chris, what can you do for me? How does that work exactly? What do you then jump into action mode and do?
The short form that we have on our website, valleyvinetransport.com, you would fill that out. That'll ask for group size, whether or not you want to include wineries, distilleries, meaderies, scenic stops, food stops, what kind of pace you're looking for the day, whether you're trying to fit as much in as possible, or if you're looking for a relaxed time. So questions about that kind of thing to get an idea of what kind of itinerary that we can come up with. So you submit the form, then Valley Vine starts looking at what date you're going to do, if there's any events going on at local wineries, check out the flow of the wineries that are going to be open for a group of your size, see if events are going on, and what the best flow of the day could be. Then I would email you back with a proposed, hey, how does this sound? If it's all good, then we start going through the payment processing, getting the deposit. And if it isn't, we can tailor your day however you would want. And then when the day comes, I can pick you up, whether you're staying at a local hotel or one of the many cabins that we have in the area, pick you and your group up and take you around to each winery that we've decided would be great for your group. And if anything during that day changes, whether you're having a really good time at a particular spot, want to stay longer, zero issues at all. We're very flexible throughout the day. Each winery we go to, I would try to set up reserved seating beforehand. That's not always possible. Some venues, especially in the Valley, are very good about that because they realize what a great resource this is. And it helps them when they already know that a group of 4 or 5 people are coming.
Right. And that you could bring more of those groups more often if they're nice to you.
So then after the experience, I take you right back to where we picked you up.
I love that you can be flexible because I could see a situation where there might be 3 or 4 wineries on the list that we want to go to. And at the third one, we are having a really good time, or we decide, you know what, 3 was enough. We probably shouldn't have tried to be so ambitious as to choose 4, and that you're able to be flexible and work around that. That makes it hugely beneficial so that you're not stuck having to go to that 4th place that you're not really interested in going to anymore.
Absolutely. We'll come up with the schedule to have a game plan, but we absolutely remain fluid throughout the day. It is about your experience.
Do you stay strictly in Page County? Do you travel in and around the Shenandoah Valley, across the Commonwealth? What kind of geography do you cover?
We branch out into the surrounding counties. So Rappahannock, Shenandoah County, Rockingham, Warren. A lot of what we do is in Page, but we do visit the other counties as well.
Well, with Page being the #2 wedding destination in the world, I know Gina's going to roll her eyes because it's probably just the country, but I always make everything bigger and better. You probably have a ton of people that are staying for weddings. They're coming in for a weekend wedding and they all want to get together, even if it's just to go to dinner. So staying in Page is pretty smart for a lot of the things that they have to offer there too.
Speaking of weddings, one of our bookings is actually on the day of somebody's wedding. They're getting married in the morning, and they have picked Valley Vine as their touring agency for their evening.
I like that because the last thing you want to do after you've gotten married is get in the car and drive somewhere. I had asked you during the break about airport runs, whether that was something that you would do or not. And you were explaining that as long as it's within the Commonwealth, it has to be in the state of Virginia, which still gives you Dulles. You haven't done a lot of those, but you'd be open to it if somebody called and said, hey, this is really what I need. You also are able, because it's you, to work with people on something that maybe is outside the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Any kind of transport we can handle, whether it's wedding shuttles or transport to an airport. The big restriction is we have to stay within the Commonwealth.
And that's not terrible. There's enough to do in, as we just said, in Page County, but you factor in the entire state. Can I call you and ask you for, say, a custom something or another? Let's say I've got a group of friends and family that are coming in and I don't want to deal with them. I'm thinking like over the holidays. And so sometimes family comes to visit and they overstay their welcome. Could I call you up and say, hey, I'm not going to do this, but I want these 4 people in my family and I want you to take them on a shopping excursion, or I want you to take them here and then go there and then go do this. And I can tell you exactly what I want to do. And then you can figure out all the logistics for how that would work and then add suggestions as well.
Absolutely. That's one of the great things about being a small business is we have that kind of flexibility.
For somebody listening today and they've heard something, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to call this guy. You mentioned the form on your website. Give me your web address, your social medias. Tell me how people can find you online.
Our best source is the website, which is valleyvinetransport.com. The forms on there. We also are available by phone, but you'll get to ask the same questions that are on the form. Some people prefer the phone. So our number is 540-227-0609.
Gina, this is pretty cool that you've got access now to Chris for any number of things. I'm thinking you could even, from a chamber perspective, put together during when I'm talking about I can't believe I'm talking about the holidays in flipping July. But when you do the whole get your receipts, people could plan shopping days to spend downtown in Luray and go do all their shopping and gather up their receipts to bring back to you to enter for those prizes. There are a lot of options available with having someplace like Valley and Vine in Page County.
Absolutely. They could take advantage of it that way, or they just want to get together with the family or a girls' day or anything like that, just to go and have a leisure day, just to hang out and do whatever. So we're excited to have them start this business, but then also be here in Page County and investing and giving back to our locals, our tourists, as well as partnering with our vineyards and wineries and distilleries.
It might be a pretty good option. I know you've got a Women in Business coming up on the 23rd of July, but you have sometimes done those at wineries. So maybe some of the people that want to go to those should call Chris and hitch a ride to that event with him, and then they can truly enjoy themselves.
Exactly. That's a good idea.
So what are you doing at the next one on July 23rd?
Women in Business, that is going to be a social. There's no agenda, just a great time to get together with the ladies in the community or any members that want to come. This is going to be hosted at Wisteria Farm Vineyard. Takes place on Thursday, July 23rd from 5:30 to 7. And this is just a great way just to enjoy some glasses of wine or a sangria. They do have specialty drinks there now. They are adding in some beers. So I don't know if that'll be available by the time we get there, but they have that on the agenda. They also added in some food. So they are going to also provide our charcuterie displays that'll be there for the ladies to enjoy for the evening. And so a nice grazing table for them to have. And so it's a great way for just the ladies in the community, as well as any members of the chamber, just to come and network with one another, hang out in a beautiful setting at Wisteria Farm Vineyards. And it's $20 for chamber members, and you can call or email or click on the link that we have on our websites or things like that to register. We are starting to push a new registration option because we have a brand new website. And so everything is linked on there. So we're trying to push all registrations through that to make it a little bit easier and smooth, and it just all shows up all together. So reach out to us via phone, 540-743-3915, or email us at info@luray-page.com or events@luray-page.com, and we'll get you signed up if that link's not working for you.
I'm sure I'm going to annoy somebody by what I'm about to say, but I will die on the hill that Wisteria is the best vineyard in Page County. I'm sure somebody's going to be very annoyed that I've said that, but that place is amazing. The view, just the experience, the wines. I mean, everything about that place is just amazing. So all of the women that go to that event are certainly going to walk away having enjoyed themselves.
Exactly. And they're doing so much there. They've added in a lodging little place so somebody actually can stay there now. Like I said, they've added in the food. They're adding in other features. They're trying to get beer down the road. Just different different options that they're just trying to expand outside of what they do with their vines and making their own wine, but just expanding and having so much more to offer the visitors and the tourists and the locals to come and enjoy. They have music, and so we're looking for a fantastic, fun evening for the ladies to come join us. This is sponsored by Pioneer Bank, so we appreciate their partnership with the Chamber. Come out and enjoy a great time.
And then you'll have to say, yeah, Janet, you were right.
Exactly.
I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, just a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.